Pitcher Jess Barnes threw the ball, but not normal speed, slow, deliberately slow, like playing catch with a child, mocking Ruth, humiliating him. Ruth swung, missed, crowd laughed, Barnes smiled. Game ended. Ruth walked toward door, but not his own clubhouse door. Wrong door. Giant's door. And inside, Barnes was waiting, not knowing what was coming. Polo Grounds, October 5th, 1922, World Series Game 2, Thursday afternoon, temperature 65 degrees, overcast sky, 36,000 fans filling stadium. Half came to watch baseball, other half came to watch Babe Ruth fail, and so far they were getting their money's worth. Yankees versus Giants, second game of World Series. Giants won Game 1 easily, Yankees desperate for victory, desperate to avoid going down 0-2 in series, and Babe Ruth desperate to prove he belonged on this stage. But through first game and first inning of Game 2, Ruth proved nothing except he could fail spectacularly. Game 1, Ruth went 1 for 5, single, walked once, struck out twice, looked lost at plate, chasing curveballs in dirt, swinging at pitches nowhere near strike zone, looking like amateur instead of highest-paid player in baseball. Now Game 2. Ruth had chance to redeem himself, chance to show Game 1 was fluke, chance to silence critics who said he choked in big moments. Instead, he walked into nightmare. Giants starting pitcher Jess Barnes, right-handed, 6 feet tall, 185 pounds, not overpowering, not fastest pitcher in league, but smart, crafty, and today, cruel. Barnes had pitched against Ruth before, knew his weaknesses, knew he chased curveballs, knew he struggled with off-speed pitches, knew he got frustrated when pitchers didn't give him anything to hit. But today, Barnes planned something different, something designed not just to get Ruth out, but to humiliate him, to make him look foolish in front of 36,000 people, to destroy whatever confidence remained after Game 1 disaster. First inning. Ruth stepped into batter's box. Left-handed stance. Bat held high. Crowd buzzing. This was what they paid to see. Babe Ruth versus Giants pitching. Power versus precision. Home run king versus defending champions. Barnes stood on mound, ball in glove, studying Ruth, reading body language, seeing tension in shoulders, seeing desperation in eyes, seeing player who was pressing, trying too hard, wanting so badly to succeed that failure became inevitable. Barnes wound up. Normal motion, delivered pitch, but not normal pitch, slow. Deliberately slow, lobbed ball toward plate like he was playing catch with child. Trajectory high and arcing. Speed maybe 50 miles per hour. Maybe. Ruth's eyes went wide. Confusion flashed across face. What was this? Was Barnes hurt? Was this mistake? He started swing. Tried to adjust, but timing completely off. Ball crossed plate before bat arrived. Strike one. Crowd gasped, then murmured. What just happened? Did Giants pitcher just throw slow-pitch softball to Babe Ruth? Was this joke? Umpire called strike, legitimate pitch. In strike zone, counted. Barnes smiled, small smile, knowing smile. Ruth stepped out of box. Looked at Barnes, trying to understand, was this strategy or insult? Barnes knew answer, both. Second pitch. Barnes wound up again, same slow motion, same arc, same embarrassing lob. Ruth waited longer this time. Tried to time it, swung, made contact, weak grounder to shortstop, easy out. Ruth ran to first base, knowing before he got there he was out. Throw beat him by 3 steps, out number 1. He jogged back to dugout, Yankees teammates silent. Nobody knew what to say. What just happened was so unusual, so unprecedented, they had no frame of reference. Manager Miller Huggins sat on bench, arms crossed, watching, understanding immediately what Barnes was doing. This was psychological warfare. This was Giants manager John McGraw's strategy taken to new level. Don't just beat Ruth, emasculate him. Make him look weak. Make him look like he couldn't hit pitch Child could throw. Third inning, Ruth's second at-bat. Score still 0-0. Pitchers duel. Both teams struggling to score. Ruth represented best chance for Yankees to break through, to get on base, to start rally. Barnes delivered first pitch, normal fastball, 85 miles per hour, down the middle. Ruth took it. Strike one. Why did he take it? Because he was waiting for slow pitch, expecting Barnes to throw another lob. But Barnes was smarter than that, couldn't throw slow every time. Element of surprise mattered. Second pitch, curveball, outside corner. Ruth swung, missed, strike two. Now Ruth was in hole. 0-2 count, defensive, protecting plate. Exactly where Barnes wanted him. Third pitch. Barnes wound up. Ruth tensed, ready for anything. Fastball, curve, changeup, prepared for all possibilities, except what came next. Another lob, slower than first inning, maybe 45 miles per hour. High arc, hanging in air like beach ball, begging to be hit. But unhittable because speed so slow Ruth's swing mechanics couldn't adjust. He swung. Way too early. Ball hadn't even reached plate yet. Strike three, strikeout. Ruth stood at plate, bat hanging in hands, staring at Barnes. Crowd laughing now, not subtle chuckles, open laughter, mocking laughter. 36,000 people watching Babe Ruth, highest-paid athlete in America, getting made fool by pitcher throwing underhand speeds. Barnes walked off mound toward dugout, smiled at Ruth. Tipped cap, sarcastic gesture. "Nice swing, Babe." Ruth's face turned red. Humiliation mixed with rage. He wanted to charge mound, wanted to grab Barnes, wanted to make him pay for disrespect. But he couldn't. This was World Series, national stage, cameras watching, reporters writing every detail. He had to walk back to dugout like it didn't bother him, like he wasn't dying inside. Fifth inning, Yankees still scoreless, Giants ahead 1-0. Ruth's third chance. Yankees needed him, needed home run, needed something to change momentum, needed their star to be star. Barnes on mound, still cruising, still controlling game, still making Yankees look helpless. Ruth stepped into box, determined, focused. This time would be different. First pitch, normal fastball. Ruth swung, fouled it off. Strike one. Good contact, though. Solid swing. Maybe he figured it out. Second pitch, another fastball. Ruth swung again, fouled off again. Still strike one because foul ball, but contact improving. Barnes could see it. Ruth was adjusting, finding rhythm, timing pitches better. So Barnes changed strategy. Third pitch, the lob, even slower than previous ones, absurdly slow. Offensively slow, thrown with such lack of effort, it looked like Barnes was playing with Ruth, like adult playing with child. Letting child think they have chance before pulling away victory at last second. Ruth waited, tried to time it, swung, contact, ball hit bat, made sound, but weak contact, top of ball, bouncer to pitcher's mound. Barnes fielded it himself, casual, easy. Threw to first base, out. Ruth jogged to first, didn't even run hard, knew it was hopeless, knew he was out before ball left Barnes's hand. As he passed Barnes returning to mound, Barnes spoke, quiet enough only Ruth heard. "Maybe next time I'll throw underhand. Give you better chance." Ruth stopped, turned, looked at Barnes, eyes full of murder. Barnes smiled, walked away, left Ruth standing there, seething. By seventh inning, Game was decided, Giants winning 3-0. Barnes pitching complete game, dominant performance, and Ruth's fourth at-bat coming up. Last chance. Last opportunity to salvage something from disaster. Ruth approached plate. Crowd already laughing, anticipating what would happen, anticipating Barnes would throw more slow pitches, anticipating Ruth would fail again. They were not disappointed. First pitch, lob. Ruth swung, missed completely. Bat passed through air where ball used to be. Strike one, second pitch, lob. Ruth swung, topped it. Weak grounder, foul ball. Strike two, third pitch. Barnes looked at catcher, shook off sign, shook off another, finally nodded, wound up, delivered, slowest pitch yet, maybe 40 miles per hour. Arc so high it nearly reached stadium lights. Ruth waited, swung, missed. Strike three, strikeout number 2. Game over for Ruth, 0 for 4. 2 strikeouts, 2 weak grounders, all on combination of slow pitches and regular pitches. All embarrassing, all public, all documented by reporters who would write tomorrow about Babe Ruth getting made fool by pitcher throwing underhand speeds. Barnes walked off mound, final out of inning, headed to dugout, past Ruth still standing at plate. "Better luck next year, Babe. Maybe try softball. Might be more your speed." That did it. Ruth dropped bat, took step toward Barnes. Barnes saw him coming, backed toward dugout quickly. Giants players stepped between them. Umpire grabbed Ruth. "Game's over. Walk away." Ruth breathed heavily, staring at Barnes disappearing into Giants' dugout, wanting so badly to follow, to grab him, to make him pay. But umpire held him. Crowd watching. Situation already humiliating enough without adding ejection to list of failures. If you're enjoying these incredible untold baseball stories and want to see more, I'd really appreciate your support. If you're watching on TV right now, please grab your phone and search for our channel to subscribe. It truly helps us bring you more of these historical moments. And drop a comment. Should Ruth have confronted Barnes, or was it better to walk away? Let me know your thoughts. Game ended. Giants won 3-0. Barnes pitched complete game shutout. Ruth went 0 for 4 with 2 strikeouts looking like amateur. Yankees headed to clubhouse, silent, defeated, down 0-2 in World Series, facing elimination. And Ruth sat at locker, not moving, not undressing, just sitting, staring at floor, replaying every slow pitch, every laugh from crowd, every smile from Barnes, every moment of humiliation. Bob Mussel sat beside him. Forget about it. Barnes is punk. He threw those pitches because he's afraid to pitch you straight. He made me look like fool. He made himself look like coward. Real pitchers don't throw slow pitches. They challenge hitters. He hid behind gimmicks because he knew you'd crush his fastball. Ruth shook head. I should have hit those pitches. They were slow, easy. I should have destroyed them. Instead, I looked like I never held bat before. Silence. Other players getting dressed, showering, leaving, trying to forget disaster of game they just played. Ruth remained seated. And then he stood, sudden, decisive, walked toward door, not door to showers, door to hallway, door that led to Giants' clubhouse. Mussel jumped up. "Babe, no, don't." Ruth didn't respond, just walked, pushed through door into hallway. Mussel followed. "You're going to get suspended. World Series isn't time for this. I don't care about suspension. I care about Barnes thinking he can disrespect me without consequences. So what are you going to do? Fight him? Get arrested? Make yourself look worse than you already do?" Ruth stopped, turned. "I'm going to tell him face to face what I think of his pitching, And if he wants to do something about it, we'll do something about it. He continued walking, reached Giant's clubhouse door, could hear celebration inside, players laughing, talking, reliving game, reliving Ruth's failures, reliving Barnes's performance. Ruth grabbed door handle. Musil grabbed his arm. "At least let me come with you. If this goes bad, you'll need backup." Ruth looked at him, nodded. "Fine, but stay behind me. This is my conversation." He opened door, walked inside. Giant's clubhouse went silent. Exactly like few days ago when Ruth had confronted John McGraw. Same shock, same confusion, same "what is he doing here?" expressions. But McGraw wasn't in clubhouse. He was doing press conference, talking to reporters, taking credit for victory. This was just players. And sitting in back corner unlacing cleats was Jess Barnes. Ruth walked straight toward him. Giants players moved out of way. Nobody stopping him, nobody intervening, just watching, curious. Barnes looked up, saw Ruth coming. Face went pale, confident smile from mound disappeared, replaced by uncertainty, by fear. He stood, not to fight, to create distance, to put something between himself and angry Babe Ruth. "We need to talk," Ruth said. Voice low, dangerous. Same voice he'd used with McGraw. Same voice that meant violence was possibility. "About what?" Barnes tried to sound casual. Failed. Voice shook slightly. "About those pitches you threw, those slow pitches, those insult pitches. They were strikes. Umpire called them strikes. Legal pitches." "Legal doesn't mean respectful. You threw those pitches to make me look stupid, to embarrass me, to humiliate me in front of 36,000 people." Barnes backed up step, hit locker. Nowhere else to go. "I threw pitches I thought would get you out. They worked. You went 0 for 4. You threw pitches to mock me, to make joke out of me. And now I'm here to tell you, if you throw one more pitch like that tomorrow, I'm coming to this clubhouse again. And next time I won't just talk." Giants players moved closer, not threatening, protective, surrounding Barnes, creating barrier between him and Ruth. Veteran players spoke up. "Ruth, you should leave. This is our clubhouse. You have no business here." Ruth didn't look at him, kept eyes on Barnes. "I have business with Barnes, and business isn't finished until he understands. I don't care what McGraw told him to throw. I don't care what strategy is. I don't care if slow pitches are legal. If he disrespects me like that again, there will be consequences." Barnes found courage. Small amount. Enough to respond. "You going to hit me? Going to assault pitcher because you can't hit his pitches? That'll look great in newspapers. Babe Ruth attacks pitcher for getting him out. Really help your reputation. My reputation is I hit home runs, and I don't take disrespect from anyone. Your reputation about to be pitcher who got beaten by angry Babe Ruth in clubhouse. Which reputation you prefer?" More Giants players moved forward. Now 8 men between Ruth and Barnes. Wall of bodies, physical barrier, message clear. This goes no further. Ruth recognized situation, recognized he was outnumbered, recognized this was going nowhere except possibly violence involving multiple people. He stepped back, but pointed at Barnes. "Tomorrow, you pitch me straight, or we finish this conversation different way." He turned, walked toward door. Giants players parted. Let him through. Nobody wanted to escalate. Nobody wanted to be one who started brawl in World Series clubhouse. As Ruth reached door, Barnes called out. Courage returning now that Ruth was leaving. "I'll pitch you however I want, Ruth. And you'll keep swinging and missing, because that's what you do in World Series. You fail." Ruth stopped. Hand on door handle. Mucel, standing beside him, tensed, expecting Ruth to turn around, to charge back, to start fight. But Ruth didn't turn, just spoke over shoulder, quiet, calm, more terrifying than yelling. "We'll see tomorrow, Barnes. We'll see." He left. Door closed behind him. Yankees clubhouse. Ruth sat at locker again. Mucel beside him. Other players had heard what happened. Word spread fast. Manager Miller Huggins approached. "Did you threaten Barnes?" "I told him truth. If he disrespects me again, there will be consequences." "Babe, you can't threaten opposing players in their clubhouse. Commissioner could suspend you, could fine you, could make example of you." "Good, let them. I'm tired of being made fool. I'm tired of pitchers thinking they can mock me without response. I'm highest paid player in baseball. I'm supposed to be best hitter alive. And right now, I'm batting .100 in World Series and getting thrown slow pitches like I'm child. Something has to change." Huggins sat down. "Something does have to change, but not Barnes. You. You need to stop pressing. Stop trying to hit 5-run homer every at-bat. Stop letting them get in your head. Barnes threw those pitches because he knew you'd get angry, knew you'd lose focus, knew you'd come to clubhouse making threats. And while you're here making threats, you're not preparing for tomorrow. You're not studying film. You're not working on timing. You're giving them exactly what they want. Distracted, emotional, unfocused Babe Ruth." Ruth looked at him. "So, what should I do?" "Hit the ball tomorrow. Best revenge isn't threats. Best revenge is performance. Barnes throws you slow pitch tomorrow. Hit it 400 feet. Make him regret ever trying that strategy. Make him look like fool instead of you being fool." Ruth nodded slowly, understanding. "And if he doesn't throw me straight, if he keeps mocking, then you keep hitting, keep performing, keep being Babe Ruth, because at end of day, numbers matter more than words. Legacy matters more than grudges, and your legacy won't be defined by confrontations in clubhouses. It'll be defined by what you do on field." Game 3 arrived, October 6th. Ruth's chance for redemption, chance to respond to Barnes, chance to show he learned lesson. Barnes wasn't starting pitcher for Game 3. John McGraw used different pitcher, but Barnes was available in bullpen. Ready to enter game if needed, if situation called for it. If McGraw wanted to use him to humiliate Ruth again, Ruth went 0 for 4 in Game 3. Different pitcher, same results. Giants won 3-0. Ruth's World Series average dropped to .083. Worst performance of career continued. Game 4, final game. Yankees facing elimination. Ruth's last chance. Barnes entered game in 6th inning. Relief pitcher. Yankees losing 4-2. Ruth due up in 7th. Barnes on mound. Their confrontation would happen on field instead of clubhouse. Ruth stepped to plate. Barnes on mound. Eye contact. Memory of clubhouse conversation between them. Memory of threats. Memory of promises. Barnes wound up, delivered. Normal fastball. Middle of plate. Ruth swung. Crushed it. Line drive to right field. Base hit. Clean single. Ruth reached first base. Looked at Barnes. And said nothing. Just looked. Barnes threw next batter curveball. Got ground out. Inning over. Ruth stranded at first. Never scored. Giants won 4-3. Won World Series. Swept Yankees 4-0 with 1 tie. Ruth finished series batting .118. 2 hits in 17 at-bats. One of worst World Series performances in history. Barnes won 2 games. Posted 0.00 ERA. Dominated. And when reporters asked him about Ruth's clubhouse visit, Barnes smiled. "Babe came to threaten me, told me not to throw slow pitches, told me there would be consequences, But here's thing about threats. They only matter if you can back them up. And Ruth couldn't back anything up. He went 0 for 4 next day. I came in relief. He got lucky single. We won championship. So I guess his threats didn't mean much. But story didn't end there. 1923 season. Yankees opened Yankee Stadium, their own home. Ruth played like man-possessed. .393 batting average, 41 home runs, won pennant, faced Giants in World Series. Game 2. Barnes was starting pitcher. First inning, Ruth stepped to plate. Barnes on mound, first pitch fastball down middle. Ruth swung, home run. First World Series homer in Yankee Stadium history. Ruth circled bases, looked at Barnes, said nothing. Game 5. Barnes pitched again. Ruth homered again, crushed it even farther. Yankees won championship 4-2. Ruth batted .368. 3 home runs, 8 RBIs, both homers off Jess Barnes. When reporters asked Ruth about facing Barnes, he said, "In 1922, I went to his clubhouse with threats. In 1923, I went to his mound with bat. Threats are empty. Home runs speak." Barnes admitted, "I mocked him in 1922 with slow pitches. Thought I broke him. But I motivated him, gave him fuel. In 1923, he made me pay. Hit me out of ballpark twice. My biggest mistake? Making Babe Ruth want revenge." October 5th, 1922. Jess Barnes threw slow pitches to Babe Ruth. Made him look foolish. Ruth stormed clubhouse with threats. Looked like Ruth's lowest point. But lowest points create highest motivations. Barnes's slow pitches in 1922 created home runs in 1923. His mocking created motivation. His insults created improvement. Ruth walked through wrong door that day. Enemy door, angry door. But that door led to right place, led to championship, led to redemption, led to legacy. Barnes won battle in 1922. Ruth won war in 1923. And legacy isn't written in threats. It's written in home runs.